Kids, how to beat up a bully, comma, without having a fight. How to beat up a bully, comma, without having a fight. How to beat up a bully, comma, without having a fight. I forgot I haven't done that in a while. So somebody's going to say, Uncle Marty said how to beat up a bully, and they don't put the comma in. Sort of like what I heard about other things. Anyway, I just try to, the Planet Terrific is a dichotomy. It can be positive or negative. It can be happy, it can be sad. That's why I was trying to put how to do something, which would be how to beat up a bully is negative. How to beat up a bully is negative. That's why I'm thinking. I followed Dad's four rules and without having a fight. And I never put that together until I really thought Dad was a genius. That's all. Absolute. And Mom was a genius. In fact, I don't know if I'm done with 8th grade. I have to think about that. But I just brought me to where Mom had told me, nothing new under the sun. Remember you kids? You're going to make that bubble? We have lunch in the sun. Remember that? So Mom said, it was between my last 4th grade and summertime getting to my first 5th grade. She said, she didn't say terrific. That was my idea. She said, this planet Earth is one of the darkest planets in our universe. Just one. I guess there's more than one. But this is one of the darkest. So, how the story goes, so she told me, was long time ago, people, angels and people that had very high spiritual growth, positive, came down to this planet to help us. We were in quicksand. So they threw out a line, and a lot of us were coming out of the quicksand. But them coming to help us, somehow they got a little karmically involved. There was a mixed match to where they got more negative karma trying to help us. So basically that's what all of us are here. That's how a lot of us are here right now, seeing that we have things to work out to where we can all make it to the next level. So I thought that was interesting. And then I was thinking when I was 4 years old, my mom, she was sweeping up in Flagstaff, and I was looking up in the refrigerator, and it was like Queen for the Day. No, that was a television program. Actually, that was a negative joke. They said, growing up, I guess it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. About 8 years old, they stopped the joke. It was, hey, what do you want to be? Queen for the Day? And now we're talking about a guy. So that was a big, it was a negative joke. So I was thinking about that and all the dust and dirt that I was watching through the sunlight was coming through the screen door. All the dust flakes are up in the air. And I'm, breathing them in. I'm 4 years old. Watching, and by the way, anybody remember Queen for the Day? How she got to be, it was somebody in the audience, and she got roses at the end, and she was a housewife, so all the housewives were watching it, and I just remembered it. Anybody know could you write me a note, anybody, grandma, somebody out there, did they pick her out of a thing? Was this under the seat? How did she get out of the audience up there? That was my question. Just put it on the back shelf. So I'm looking at it, and Mom says, what are you doing breathing all the dust? Get outside. So I get outside. I remember going to the left and playing in the dirt. I don't think there was mud. I was just kids playing dirt, all right? And they say that's pretty healthy because now you have more immune system. It's another idea maybe somebody wants to think about or not. So I'm out there. I don't know if I was actually looking at the sun, but it wasn't bothering me. By the way, kids, you don't look into the sun, but I might have been looking around the sun, and my eyes had been adjusted to it. Mom comes out and goes, ah! And well, we didn't have sunglasses back there. You had to be kind of rich to have sunglasses. Now everybody has them. By the way, it's a positive idea to have sunglasses on, kids, now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm looking at Mom thinking, what's the matter with you, Mom? The sun isn't even bright, and she's saying, ah. So we have different perceptions of what's bright and what isn't. When we become accustomed to the light, it's a little easier than we just get the light thrown on us, is what I was going to say. Just put it on the back shelf. Boy. So I was going to go into something, but I gotta throw it out there. When it comes to fear, how important it is that we do control our fear. When we do, it will be positive, and it can be very, very detrimental when it's negative. When you have fear, it will be negative. You might not recognize it at the moment, but it ends up that way. I was told I got to go to snakes because snakes, rattlers, and everybody's saying that. I mean, there's fear everywhere, kids. You pick anything, spiders and snakes. What was that? I love spiders and snakes, and I love you more, or something like that. There was some song, and so I was thinking that song. I'm thinking spiders, snakes. Well, I've been bit a couple. Well, the first time the brown recluse. By the way, you don't go to sleep with a brown recluse bite. You go to sleep. They say you don't wake up. I got doctors from the Mayo that'll agree to that. Nurses will agree with that. I know, and it did happen to me. I can't go there now, but we're gonna stay with snakes. The law is with snakes. They know you are coming by your heat 150 feet away, okay? This is proven that they can tell you 150 feet away. So if you can know that, you're ahead of the game, kids. So you watch when you put your foot over a log, lifting up rocks. Out west, definitely, you're going to find rattlesnakes. Jersey, you'd find copperheads, water moccasins, and I don't know. That's the only two that I found out there. But I killed them. I caught one off the Raritan Bridge, the water moccasin. I had to let him go. What are you going to do when you catch a snake? Well, you better let him go, I guess, unless you're going to. Definitely just let him go. The copperhead, he was by the apple tree. I knew it was a copperhead because I killed it with my axe, my double-edged axe, chopping down dead elm trees, barking beetle, bark, bark. And anybody up there in New Hampshire, were they barking up there? You can write me a note. They weren't barking in New Jersey, the barking beetle, okay? That was another question I had if anybody had an answer. So I got the copperhead, chopped his head off. But now I had to deal with something else, but I knew the law. 150 feet away, a rattler, I believe any snake will know you're coming. You're not going to see the snake. He'll know you're coming before you see him. 95% of the time. Now, my point on this is very important that you children or anyone else that might be sitting around just might put it on the back shelf to, you don't have to believe me. Don't even believe me. But please, just put it on close on the back shelf. Wickenburg. Yeah, it was Wickenburg. But I'll get to Wickenburg. Looking for gems and stuff like that. When we have fear, our adrenaline kicks in, our heart beats faster, and our body temperature rises. When our body temperature rises, when we have fear at a snake, the snake is a snake. It believes in its little mind that you're going to hurt it because it's known about you 150 feet away. Your body temperature is at whatever level you are at with that body temperature. When you see the snake and go, ah! Your fear strikes in your adrenaline, and it scientifically brings up your body temperature. I knew this law. So when you get to know that law, whatever law you learn to be true, you're going to have to apply it. And that's what I'm saying. Whatever you learn, I don't care what it is, as soon as you learn it, apply it as soon as you can, rather than reading something and putting it on the back shelf, and 30 years later you're applying it and then you find it's boo-boo, baba, poo-poo. It doesn't work. 30 years later is a little late, but never too late. But I'm saying, so whatever you're learning from school kids, whatever it is, apply it as soon as you can, as fast as you can. That way you'll see, we breathe, you're going to learn, and then that's where the discernment comes in when you apply what you've learned. The discernment will be if it's a positive or negative thing. Beautiful. And then you'll be concerned or not concerned. And then we know that. Beautiful. So the body temperature goes up when you fear a snake. Proven that it will happen. Excuse me. Uncle Mart, Dow, fantastic friend of mine. And I believe him to be a friend today, and all the things he's done for me and with me. Him and Ronnie, fantastic people. Oh boy. So Dow and I are going to Wickenburg. It's in Arizona. And there's some cliffs with the Wickenburg water rushing through. Off to the left is a bunch of pile of woods. And I said, Dow, we're going to stay away from there because it's summertime, July, middle of July, going to August. I said, there's got to be rattlers over there. And we're not going to go over there to look for any gems, crystals, quartz crystals, and amethyst. And he says, yeah, well, I don't want to go see no rattlers over there. I said, yeah, well, don't worry about it. So I said, okay, this cliff here looks like it has some nice little cubby holes, and it did, because you pulled yourself up on each one. You put your foot. It was like little caves kind of thing, about that big or so. So I got my feet in one. I pulled myself in the next one. I got about a story and a half up pulling myself up. Dow's kind of taking his time coming up. So as I'm pulling myself up, I pull myself up to look at a rattlesnake, okay? It was a diamondback rattler. I've seen them before. Not so close. I had pulled myself up, and I was wondering how, I did. I was wondering, how did he get there? It was like fast. How did he get there? But it doesn't matter, because he's rattling really fast, and that means when they rattle, rattlers, that they strike at you. So I have myself up on this. I have my feet at the next one, but I've got enough to where I'm just kind of hanging there, because I'm going to pull myself up to step. I thought I was going to step there to get to the next one. And I swear, I don't know how the little bugger climbed up. I didn't know they could climb that way. So I'm here on the ledge. I'm literally like this. I know this is 9 inches because I'm a carpenter too. And this is what we do. We measure from here to there. And you put your 8-penny nail and bang it into the 2x4, 4x4, whatever you got. So this is 9 inches. And that's literally because I was close enough I didn't put my fingers up there, but that's how close Uncle Martin was to the rattler. So I knew the law. Everything that I just spoke to you on. Now, it was Uncle Martin's test to see if the law worked. So I like to experiment. I'm an alchemist, actually. So I immediately stopped fear. I mean, it was coming up. It was coming up a little bitty bit. And I said, oh no, it's not going to happen today. Not on my watch. So I kept it. I kept my fear to where actually it went away. As soon as I said, no, it's not going to happen. And it gone. That's how fast it works, kids. It would have been negative to have fear. And I said, I immediately said no. And then, okay, fantastic. I'm back looking at this guy, wiggling his tail as fast as you can say Jack Robinson. And his tongue was going in and out of his little mouth so fast. And that's another thing. When a tongue of a snake comes out, he's feeling your body temperature. So he must have known I was coming. He must have known, obviously, that I was there because he was rattling away. So now he's feeling my temperature gauge. He was testing my temperature. And he noticed it wasn't going up. Interesting, wasn't it? So now I have to think, oh boy, this is quite a situation here. And I thought, what is, I swear this is what I was thinking. What is the most harmless thing that I could think of at this moment? And I was thinking, the first thing that, because when you ask a question, you get the answer. Trust me. Immediately. Whatever you're asking, it usually comes very quickly. And it did for me too. It was like, what is the most harmless thing I can think of right now? And bingo, bango. It was a fluffy little puppy. A fur ball, little fluffy. Kids, you've always had a fluffy puppy, fluffy kitty. And I don't have anything against cats or dogs or mice. It was just for me at that time thinking of a fluffy puppy. And I thought that, and I felt pretty happy, pretty positive with that. And I said, I swear, that was one of the times where I could muster up love immediately. And with all the love in my heart, I said, and I'm 9 inches away, and I even got closer and I said, hello, puppy, with all the love in my heart. And he's looking at me, and I'm saying, he had black beady eyes. I didn't see any spark of anything except black beady eyes. So when they say a snake has black beady eyes, they aren't kidding. But his eyes, they weren't sparkling or anything, but his tongue wasn't, it was like, and it was slow enough now where it came out, and son of a gun, they're not lying. Snakes have forked tongues. It goes both ways, all right? It is a fork. So I see that his tongue is going out slow enough to where I can see it's a forked tongue. And his tail isn't whipping around like it's just going a little bitty-bee, bitty-bee, bitty-bee. I'm thinking, I think we're becoming friends. And then I thought, it's time for me to leave. And I'm still thinking, how did he get up here? I'm climbing like up here, and there's nowhere here. There's holes up here, but he can't climb down. This little bugger, he climbed up the side of this cliff, 1.5 stories, easily. I'm not going to go higher than that. I'll say 1.5 stories. So what is that, 10, 15 feet? So I'm at this point right now, and I said, with all the love in my heart, I said, puppy, I am going back down. With all the love that I had the first time, I might have even given him a little more love. And do you know what he did? Do you know what that little guy, I don't know if it was a he or she, I really don't. I couldn't tell the difference anyway. And it was, his tongue stayed in his mouth. His tail stopped, but I got to count how many. It was 7. I'm thinking 7. That was spiritual again. I'm thinking that 7 means he's 7 years old. And when I said, I'm going back down, and that's when his tongue stopped and his tail stopped rattling. That's why I couldn't count it. It was moving too fast. And then even when it was going slower, I couldn't count it until he stopped. He stopped and went down. I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty cool. I had communed with the snake long enough. So what I did was I went back down, and I got my, I kind of, well, actually, See, that's what I'm saying. I had my footing at the bottom, the next level, and I got my hands out. I put my hands against the cliff, and I turned around. By that time, Dow's up about at my feet. He says, "What's the problem?" I said, "Nah, I don't think we should go up anymore. You know." Oh yeah, I'm calm about it. No, I don't think we should go up there anymore. And he says, "Yeah, why not?" I said, "Because there's a rattler, and this is what Dal did. Exactly. Rattler!" And he turns around and jumps off into the water, a story and a half high. So I climbed back down, and we decided not to look for any more quartz crystals or amethyst that day. Kids, what I'm saying is, this little story might be cute, funny. It did happen, and it went very positive for Uncle Martin. And I don't know how positive, if it would have been as positive for Dow if he would have thrown that same fear of Rattler in that Rattler's face. I believe the law would have been his body temperature going up, because that would be telling that snake that Dow would have been hurting him or going to hurt him. And that's the way snakes think. I just told you that little story because I told you the little story when I was 4 about the fear, and how Marmaduke, when we came back with the ice cream, we're patting him on the head, and he's all happy and smiling. And I didn't even think about that at that time or this time or anything. I had to have a very quick application of what I believed to be true. And I'm sure it could have went either way also. But I was proven at that time that adrenaline does work that way. That fear will affect you on many different levels. And that's why I'm trying to get across to you and whoever might else be sitting around, that the importance of us controlling our fear is so very important. So very important. I just told you an extreme story of how it could have went either way. That I was able to come to my realization that it would be time for me to apply what I understood to be true. It works with sharks. I didn't want to go there, but actually I had a death. The snakes didn't bother me, but sharks did. So I guess I'll have to throw that out there. When I was living in Malibu, anybody doesn't know where that is, around Pepperdine area, it was, I was surfing kind of like in Rio Carrillo or Zuma. And I'm trying to put it together. Was it Zuma or Rio Carrillo? Dow was with me at that time, son of a gun. So there you go. He was in Arizona in there too. Wow, wow, wow. Is this a coincidence? Zuma, Rio Carrillo, Zuma, no, the rocks weren't there. Okay, it was Zuma. Zuma Beach. I have a big yellow raft. I'm going out. I guess the tide's going out. And I'm out a 12-foot yellow canvas raft. Fantastic raft. And I had Dow and everybody, whoever, three people. So Dow and 2 other people are at the shoreline. I'm going out first, I guess. I must have fell asleep. I wake up, and I must have been at least a quarter mile away, because I could. The people look like this big. And I said, yeah, you know what? And then I felt, you know how you can feel things. I told you kids, we're empaths, and we're also telepathic. I was feeling something big. Something so big, I just felt that I didn't want to look around. I intuitively knew it was a shark. And when I thought shark, I was thinking I was being tested, possibly, because it was just a little bit of rising up of a neck. It was fear. It was coming kind of up, and I said, no, not on my watch today. It ain't happening. So the fear went away. And I still didn't look around, by the way. But I look over to these little people, and they're going, where are they going? They're going like this. And, waving too, waving. Not looking around, just waving. And they kept going like this. And I said, maybe I better go back and see what they want. So I casually started swimming back that way. Finally got up to him and I said, I was okay. Why were you waving? And they said, we weren't waving. We weren't waving. We were saying, come back, come back. I thought it was waving. I said, come back. I was going to come back. I said, I was coming back. They said, no, no. There was a big fin behind you. It was a very big fin. And apparently it wasn't circling me, but it was picking up. See, when you look into the sharks, they can pick up electrical voltage. And if you have one drop of blood, they can smell it like 2 miles away. So they're able to pick up blood and electrical, which is quite amazing. So fear and, well, remember, a thought only takes 1/1,000,000th of a spark of electricity. So how much electricity are you giving out with fear? So, and thinking, yeah, that's what happens when you go, ah, and start splashing. They say it's like ringing the dinner bell for the shark. So I kind of felt it was a shark, and I knew it was my test to not give out any fear. So there you go. I have been tested twice with a snake, and the one that I would not want to deal with was a shark. And here I am dealing with a shark. So kids, whatever you fear, kids, or big kids, little kids, I don't care who you are. If you're ever listening to Uncle Martin, you get a hold of me. Whatever you fear the most, like something being taken from you, you're going to lose it. Guess what? You're giving energy. You're sparking off some voltage in a negative way, which fear is, to where that thing that you would hope would never be taken, your candy is going to be the first thing to go. I don't want my bicycle stolen. I'll lock it up. Doesn't matter. You lock it up. It'll be stolen. Your car. I love my car. I don't want it sold. It'll be the first thing to go. My house. It's the first thing to go. It's the law. You fear, whatever you fear is going to be the first thing that's taken from you. And I've had that happen to me a few times way in the past, to see that it does actually work that way. In fact, I've seen people around me that say, I don't want this taken from me. And I could see the fear coming out of it. And son of a gun, within the week, it's gone. I'll give you a perfect example. I had my cousin Jim with me. He had a bunch of his stuff at my place, and I guess anyway, he was always locking up his side of the house, and I never locked anything. I never locked anything anywhere, anytime. I've always had my house door open. I do lock my gate, but you gotta adjust. Actually, I do leave it a little bit open if somebody wants to come through, but I wouldn't suggest it. Other than the dogs, I wouldn't suggest it. So I don't have those kind of fears, and actually, when I have had those fears, that's the first thing that gets taken from me. So I've learned that lesson a long time ago, and since then, having no fear, ba boom, ba bing, it's been a positive thing for Uncle Martin. And everyone around me that's always had that fear, bada bing, bada boom, it's the first thing to go. So one would say, oh, it's got to be a coincidence. Oh boy. I guess those people that really feel that it's just a coincidence, as we all know, we're all at different levels. Not that this level's any less than this level. This level is no better than this level. Because somebody at this level, they just need a little bit, a smidge more of application, and they're zippity doodah leagues ahead of this person that was so high up. So that's why you can't judge anybody. That's the way it works, kids. That person that you're judging, you're saying is stupid. First of all, as we know, you're telling everyone that he can't learn, that's not positive and it's not true. Everyone can learn. Wherever we are, we can always learn. That's why we're here. I hope I got across to somebody, something, maybe. If not, I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. I ran out of time. I don't know how it happened. So I got to say, aloha! And I really mean, be well.